I know a lot of stars that when they get into the industry now and become famous, become stars, they lose it.
They lose that self-control.
They lose it.
Peace, progress, and prosperity. Always remember, you are not alone.
Gentlemen, welcome back to this episode of Brother Skipper, the mental health podcast for men. And my name, as usual, forever till the day I breathe my last, is Onola Fatoba. I am my brother Skipper. I'm your brother from a very distant mother. And today I have with me, I'm sharing this episode with a legend in the film industry. A lot of people in my generation, I'm sure, the Gen Zs, the Gen Alphas may not know him because of the time, they were born. But people in my generation upward will appreciate his person and his skills as a filmmaker. He's a father, he's a legend, he's one of the pillars that, really propped up Nollywood as we know it today. And today I'm sitting with Mr. Teco Benson, MFR, and he's credited for a lot of films like Blood Diamonds, State of Emergency. That one I particularly remember, The Senator, and a whole lot of other thrillers that we grew up excited about as kids. He started his career when the year I was born. When I tell you that this man is a legend, you don't understand the things I go through to make this podcast happen. He started his career as an actor in the film industry in 1994. That was the year that I just came out and I took my first breath of air. And today I'm sitting with him. I'm honored, I'm excited, and I'm really happy, and I appreciate you. Thank you very much for your time, sir.
No problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Good to have you.
I see here. It's an honor on my part. Okay, so the reason I'm sitting with Mr. Teco Benson today is because we were having a short discussion before I started this intro, and he's one of the people who you can say has came up in the film industry. He started film as far back as when filmmakers were not regarded as professionals, when filmmakers were not taken seriously, when filmmakers were tagged riffraff. And by that time, I was just born, and getting to hear that tag, it wasn't exactly something that was encouraging to be associated with at the time. But this man was proud enough to keep his head up, keep going, produce and direct, write some of the best Nollywood films that you will ever see from that time till this day. And I tell you, if you still watch some of these movies, you bask in the nostalgia of the quality of such stories and production. And today I'd like to talk to him about how he has been able to, he's over 50 now, right?
Yeah.
How he has been able to go through those times, because obviously there will be times where it's not exciting, it's not easy, it's not fun. How he has been able to push through those times to this day, and he's still going, he's still relevant, he's still doing it, he's still out there on his game. So my very first question is, how did you find yourself in the film industry? What was that thing that brought you like, this is where you're going?
Well, growing up, I had different objectives in town. I planned to read medicine growing up.
Oh,
Every father wants.
yeah, father wants a white collar son.
Absolutely. So I made a lot of attempts to gain admission to study medicine. I didn't get it. JAM was the determining factor then. Remember?
It's still the determining factor now.
There were private schools now. You can find your way. Though you must pass JAM, but all this cut-off marks issue has been limited now, because with private universities, you can take any one of your choice and break that barrier of JAM. In terms of restriction, catchment area, and all that stuff. But that's by the way. Eventually, I studied public health.
Okay.
I didn't do nursing anymore, so I started my civil service job. Then the industry wasn't there. Then living in bondage came like a bang.
Yes.
So I was so fascinated to see our people
Do something of
do
that magnitude.
something of that magnitude, because we are all hooked to foreign Hollywood and Bollywood movies.
Movies.
So seeing our own people, beautiful looking people, speaking our language in a very interesting and fascinating way, man, my interest was completely taken. But to find the opportunity to be part of it wasn't there. So I was working at the same time, nursing the vision and the ambition and the dream of being part of that magic. One day in 1994, an audition was set up within my neighborhood. That time I was living in the East, and that's where I was working. A friend of mine came back and said, "Oh, you've been telling me about the movie of Boy in Politics. I just saw an audition notice somewhere." That was it. I attended it. I was given a lead role.
Wow.
I acted in it. The film never came out today.
Okay, it's one of those projects.
Some of those my friends left out of anger, because we burnt a lot of time trying to make this movie. We spent 3 months on the rehearsals.
Oh,
Rehearsals alone, 3 months.
wow.
So some of the people after suffering and not seeing this thing come to life,
Results.
they felt this is not a serious industry black. But I
You
continued
kept at it.
because I know what I wanted. Besides, I have a job that's sustaining me. So I tagged along. So after that, another opportunity came. I did another movie, and I played the prominent role with it in that movie. The movie came out. It was titled Rejected.
Okay.
Yeah, they had a lot of stars in it. Eventually, the film came out and became rejected in the market. That one died.
Okay.
Some other group of people again left. I decided to stay back. So that was how the journey continued until I did another movie called Forbidden,
Yeah.
an Igbo movie. That was in 1995. Forbidden became an instant success for the role. So I became popular. The career got some fire and picked up. I haven't ended it today. So today I'm still in the game and the journey continues.
So have you been able to? You said the first, the second movie they were rejected, nowhere to be found, but you kept going. I'm sure after that you had more failed projects, abandoned projects, and you still kept going. How have you been able to deal with that pressure of, okay, I'm sure maybe even family members would have told you, "Ah, this thing that you are doing, you face your public health something and feel it." But how have you been able to, keep that pressure aside and focus on, where you're going as a filmmaker?
And that's the major reason I told this story from this perspective. Because I know there are people who are watching who are doing the same kind of dialogue.
Yes.
Failure is not an excuse to drop because winners don't quit. If you know where you're headed, just be determined and keep moving on. At the end, you will have that breakthrough that you're looking for. So I already had that strong vision before I came. So I knew that nothing was going to stop me from getting my destination. Like you said, the industry wasn't lucrative. There wasn't much money, but the fame was guaranteed, but the money wasn't there. But I know and I believe that with time, things were going to change. And today I see the change come. I see opportunities for a lot of people who are not even there in the beginning in the first place. We built this foundation with our blood.
Yes.
And today, people who are in part of it,
people don't even know,
are reaping the benefit. So many people acted for free, did a lot of things, to make sure this industry stands. And today, I'm glad that it's providing employment support for a lot of generation of people, and it's going to get bigger.
Yes.
So for anybody who is wise, it's time to get it. But the time is coming, the entry
is going to be it's going to be higher.
It will be controlled. Now there seems to be no control. There is control though. We have the bills, and we have the Federation of Nollywood Bills, and they're working and they're trying to tighten the rules. So it's going to be tight very soon. And like you observe, in those good old days, the industry wasn't taken serious. Professionals were not taken seriously. Just like musicians those days.
Yeah, yes.
If a musician or actor comes to marry your daughter, most parents will not.
No, not this one.
They wonder how you can.
How you going to take care of the family?
Absolutely. Today the story has changed. So, and I'm glad I'm alive to see this change happening. So, the advice there is whatever you want and you're determined and you're serious about it, you're committed about it. The initial failure shouldn't be a discouragement, because such obstacles they come like tests, like
Yes,
trials.
the universe testing you that are you really
Wow.
sure you want this?
That's the word. That's the word. So, and after that, at the end of the tunnel, surely the light will
The
show
light
up.
will shine.
That's it.
Have there been instances where your creative process was affected by your state of mind, your mental health?
Well, mental health, from my own definition, is a state of complete emotional, physical, well, and emotional, social, and I'm looking for the third word now. Physical might not be the part of it.
Psychological.
Psychological well-being.
Okay.
All right, the three. So if somebody is balanced emotionally, balanced psychologically, and balanced spiritually, even spiritually.
Yes.
I was trying to say socially, but number four is spiritually. You can be in control of yourself. The when any of this is compromised, your mental health will degenerate. It will be compromised, and once it's compromised, so many things will go wrong. I am somebody that have had my mental health in serious control, under serious control, consciously, because I have avoided all these things and things that can trigger my losing it.
Okay.
But again, there are situations where when the work is too much, like if you're writing a script, it gets to a point
Overwhelmed.
you are exactly. So you need some break at that point to be able to get yourself back. Because if you don't do that, you get to a point you can't even, your brain will be blank. Yeah, some people can say diminishing return. You can imagine when you are diminishing and you don't stop,
Stop, just keep going.
You get to a point where
there's nothing to go
ground
for
zero. That's it. So for somebody who is smart, when you get to such points, you just take some break and recreate.
Step back and
drive around and all that. Come back to your work, and your brain can come back, and you move on. So that's the much I can say I have experienced, which is normal in life. When you are doing stuff, you get to a point to give us the. But in terms of getting compromised mentally, I haven't had that. I've been so much in control of my emotional, psychological, and social well-being. So far,
that's amazing. Okay, so apart from taking a break from the work, the stress, what other practices? What are your best practices to say that okay, I'm not going to let this get to me, or I'm not going to let this mess up my mental health?
Well, I take things one at a time.
One at a time.
One at a time. I see a lot of people get hired and get booked. Some people are booked like the actors.
Are booked back to back to back to back to back.
Yes, I want to do a movie and I call some actors. They say they are booked from now to November. No break. No break. From one movie to the other, from one set to the other till November. That is suicide. There's no breathing space. I can't do it. Because the way I've structured my life is one at a time. If I'm even doing a movie, I have to finish everything about the movie, then move on, drop it, move into another. It's not as if I cannot do that type. I did it in the past. But even in the past, when I am booked, I will make sure I still finish one. I walk back to that, but one movie must finish. Talking about pre-production, production, and post-production completed before I jump into the next one. But you can't see me do half of this. Those are the things that can compromise your mental health. Because it gets to a point, your clients, the people that hired you, the pressure will become so much. It gets to a point you are lying to keep things under control.
Yeah.
It gets to a point even lying cannot save you anymore. So many things come into play, and before you know it, it's not. So if you want to, be free from all this, one at a time. where that guy who is running very fast gets to that destination, even though you are walking across, you will see them there. At the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So why kill yourself before your time? Why kill yourself? So that's my own magic wand. There's no other magic I'm using. It's just this technique and this style. Take things one at a time. And I'm somebody that's close to my family. So after working,
family first.
Exactly. I still get back to my family and women. And by the time you get back and relate, I have children that are grown up. I have a wife. I have an environment where I can create before I go back to my work. So it helps me to be fresh. Every time I come, I'm fresh. So you come with new ideas, and your brain will be 100%, functional. Everything you put your hand on, you're sure that you're good to go. That's it.
You just mentioned that you lost another one quite recently, and for me, I've learned that trauma or loss of a loved one is always traumatic, no matter the level of the relationship, the distance of closeness, whatever it is. And here it is your brother, someone you've shared most of your life with. How have you been able to deal with the fact that I no longer have physical access to this person?
Well, just like you pointed out, death is something that is inevitable, and it's something that when it happens to somebody that is very close to you, sometimes it seems as if the world has come to an end.
Yes, there's darkness everywhere.
But I developed a kind of immunity because when I was 19, I lost my mother at 44. At 44. A mother I was looking towards. A mother I made a lot of promises to. But when I start working, I'm going to make her happy. I'm going to buy her a car. I'm going to do this, do that. And before you know it, just in her prime, without reaping any benefit, she died. So, as at that time, I didn't believe, because the kind of family we have, I never believed anybody can die.
there's that naivety until it happens.
Even though I hear that people die, but I didn't
You
believe
that it happened
to me. So that death was the biggest blow I received in my life. It looked like the world was not going to move from that point. But today, we've grown over it. And coming out from that, I lost my father in 2003. That one was another blow. But thank God he was up to 73. So it was easier to manage.
There was less of a heat.
That's right. That's the word. So coming out from that, some years later, I lost my elder brother. That was in 2010.
Yes.
Then in 2014 or thereabout, I lost my younger brother. So you see, I've lost 4 people that are very close to me. So what has it made me understand now? I now understand life. I'm no longer afraid of death. I perfectly understood that every day you live is like a gift.
It's a gift, yeah. That's why it's called the present.
That's it. Nobody's promised tomorrow. That's why we are advised to live every day as if it's our last. So there's a kind of maturity I have now. Yeah, I understand life, and I understand when Solomon says that everything is vanity upon vanity. Truly, it is. Everything is vanity. Everything we are struggling for, to acquire, all these things we kill ourselves. At the end of the day, the moment you die, that's the end. And you might think that when you die, the whole world is going to stop.
Nah.
It's like on the road. If you're driving on the road and you have a flat tire, what do? You stop. You pull over, right? When you pull over,
everybody keeps going. Everybody keeps going.
Keep moving.
Nothing happens.
That's how
you have to face your own.
That's it.
Wow.
That's just how journey of life is. Where your own terminates,
another person owns.
People keep moving. It doesn't stop nothing. Before you know it, 1 month, 2 months after, you have forgotten completely. You have forgotten, and the world moves on as if nothing has happened. Wow. So if you understand that, I believe people will slow down. Yeah, a lot of people are desperate in looking for solutions, in looking for things of life, in looking for material acquisition. If you understand this principle, you take life easy and you approach things one at a time. You take it each time, any day the bell rings and the call comes, you take it. Because death must come.
Yes. At some point, you became, at some point, you were the industry because of, movies like The Senator, movies like Blood Diamonds, movies like State of Emergency. I particularly remember State of Emergency. So now I want to ask, what impact did, such level of recognition and fame and, attention, how did it affect you as a person? How did it touch on your ego, your character as a person? How did you become more self-conscious? What did it do to you?
Very good question. Very good question. I see that a lot of people get affected in such when it comes to that, but I think I'm very lucky. I have humility in my DNA. I have it in my DNA. So people get confused when they meet me,
and they don't even know who is standing in front of them.
So when they see me from afar, they have a different impression that I might snub them, I might be difficult. But when people get close to me, they confess truly the other one. It's not what they expected that they saw. So that humility that I grew up with, it was actually ingrained into my DNA. My father made sure he benedicted me.
Make sure that you have that.
Exactly. Through counseling, he made us understand that if you humble yourself, God will exalt you. But if you become very proud, that God hates
you are not going anywhere,
He's going to humble you. So it made me, I grew up with that. So what I can tell you authoritatively is that those accolades, those awards made me more committed, made me more serious. Because the saying says, that particular saying that says, to whom much is given, much is expected. At a point, I won Best Action Film Director, I won Best Overall Director, I've won different kind of awards, I've won Best Editor, I've won Best Writer, Best Producer, different kind of awards.
You've kind of taken the whole production cycle.
Absolutely. The film Accident also got me Best Editor, apart from getting me Best Director at the Silicon Valley Film Festival in the US. And Accident also won the Best Nigerian Film at the Amas.
Yes.
I won 500,000 naira that year, and we won several awards. The same thing with Mission to Nowhere, the same thing with The Prize, the same thing. Most of these movies, they've won awards in almost all the awards organized in Nigeria. So I've gotten to a stage where I'm no longer moved by the accolades.
It's now a constant. It's just there.
Yes, I'm not moved by the accolades again. I just try to maintain the standard. I don't want to go below that threshold that led these awards to come. So I think the award is very positive to the professional because it keeps you on that track and makes you very careful. Then one of the major things that made me survive the fame, because a lot of people, I know people that were destroyed by these awards. I know some young people that were given awards before time and they got into their head and they crashed big time, right? So the God factor is another thing.
Okay.
How? God factor. When you are godly, you understand, you can have that ego under control. Every human being has that ego. And that ego is, if you don't control it, it can blow up and make you begin to feel like a god.
Yeah.
When people want to appreciate you, you understand, you take advantage of that and
you feel bigger than you feel grandiose.
Exactly. So God factor is very important. When you are godly, you will easily control yourself. Self-control is a virtue. That self-control is anybody that has it. Any human being that has self-control can survive anything in life. Because the temptations will come, the trials will come, and if you are not careful, the overbloated ego is going to make you lose a lot of things. Because it's going to give you pride. And that pride will make you feel superhuman. And that pride will make you look down on a lot of people. And before you know it, that thing you're standing in will be filled up and you will crash. And you know, when you're falling from a very lower level, you might not feel the impact.
Yeah, it's just
when you're falling from
very high.
you are crashing. Nothing will move. So that's it. So wisdom is very important. Wisdom, very important. And godliness for anybody who is up there, very important. It will help you to manage yourself.
Okay, so now let me ask, what's that thing that you see in the industry today that you think, okay, the youngsters, the new generation of filmmakers, they need to slow down on it if they want to go further? Take for example, I feel there's a lot of people who come into the industry because they want to be famous. They are not, they just want to be a star, they want to be in front of everybody, they want to be known. They're not there because of passion or because they even have the skills. So one of the things I see is that, okay, a lot of people want to be stars. So from your perspective, your experience, your practice, what do you think is that thing that young filmmakers need to stay away from in order to last in the industry?
Okay, thank you. This question is actually connected to the last one.
Yeah.
Ego. Because that ego is a big problem. I know a lot of stars that when they get into the industry now and become famous, become stars, they lose it.
They lose that self-control.
They lose it. You schedule them for production, tell them, give them a call time, 8 o'clock for resumption so that you can finish what you have in the day, finish early and go early.
I'm going.
Everybody will be there by 8 p.m.
You're coming by 12.
And their start and arrive by 3 p.m.
I've experienced that.
And now when that happens, it destroys the entire production.
Yeah, it kills the morale of it.
Because most times, this lead character is in all the scenes planned for the day from 8 a.m. until the closing time by 6 or 7 or 8 or 9. And that guy is coming by 3. Number one, he has damaged the entire production. Because whoever is financing that project
has lost money.
He's paying for the location, he's paying for hotel accommodation, he's feeding everybody, he's taking care of their welfare, their medicals, everything for the entire duration of the movie. And possibly the person is working with a bank loan. We don't dream to have such people as that. Because if you take a loan, you might end up having a problem of paying back. Because by the time you're done, your cost. If you had borrowed 50 million and you're hoping to finish with 50 million, these guys might stretch you to go borrow more. You might end up spending 200 million for such a project. How do you recover? Your business plan was based on 50, and you're planning that when you're done, maybe even if you make 75 million.
That's on good. 25 is not bad.
Yeah, if you pay back 50 with the interest, you have some.
At least 20 will carry you.
Exactly. Then now with this, you're already in big debt. You're already in a big problem. So that's what this starts cost production. But you see some people that are matured and reasonable, even with their name, when you get them engaged in production, if your call time is 8,
they are there by 7:45.
Yes, they're there, they sit in their car. When it's time, they call them, they get into the costume room and get costume, and they start walking. If this closing time is 9, you see them, they walk till now. When it's 9, they'll approach you. It's 9 o'clock.
I need to go and rest.
I need to go. So if there is something you want to finish up and say, can you give me more 30 minutes? They can give it to you. And you finish peacefully and you go. Everybody will be happy. But these guys will come and create problem. Right now, what happens is these guys can even come and say, I'm giving you 1 day to finish
all your scenes. Yes.
Some will say maximum 2 days. If you don't finish,
I need to be out of here. I'm going to another set.
And when they come into the production directed by this young chap that cannot control them, they're in a big mess. That's why you see them running from pillar to post, shooting overnight so that they can finish within the time given by these stars. So these are some of the problems that they have created in Norway. You understand? It's unprofessional. It's evil, it's bad, it's condemnable, and these are what the industry is going to work on because there is this collaboration we are planning now, code of ethics, with the Federation of Film because the what we're planning now is to have self-regulation to regulate ourselves, but we can't continue moving this way. We need to
There
regulate
needs to be
ourselves.
some structure.
Exactly. That's the regulation will bring the structure. But it's better we regulate ourselves than waiting constantly for government to do regulate.
That's more serious and
Exactly.
out of control.
Exactly. So if we do it ourselves, we might get a better structure that will still have blessing of government. All right. So that's the area we're going to. So that some of these things can be fixed because of that lack of that structure. That's why people are doing what they're doing, and it's impacting negatively on the industry and sending the wrong messages. You know. So that's it.
Okay, so to my last question now. For a lot of young filmmakers, okay, let me, for context, you started your career at a time where Nollywood was, there wasn't even, I don't think it was called Nollywood back then.
No, no.
Eh. So for for a lot of young filmmakers today, in an economy that is not quite supportive of you being passionate about, you being dogged about your passion, you trying to pursue your passion. What advice would you give young filmmakers that are, struggling to make a name and still trying to balance their mental health, the pressure of society, fending for themselves, the struggle? What would you say that, okay, pay attention to this, ignore this, do this, don't do that?
Okay. Number one advice I would give filmmakers, especially people behind the camera, people like me, the makers of the film itself,
The filmmakers.
exactly, the storytellers. The major advice I would give to them is to embrace global best practice.
Okay,
Embrace
global best practices.
no matter what you're doing, no matter the format you're filming, no matter the network you're submitting to, no matter where you're filming, make it as if all your life depends on it. Don't say, oh, I'm filming for YouTube. Let me whatever understand that. Oh, I'm filming for Netflix. Let me do it well. No, that's a very wrong thing. Anytime you're working, put in your best. Be passionate about what you're doing. You see, there's one secret from the Bible. The Bible says, seek ye first his kingdom and his righteousness, and every other thing shall be added unto you. If you can apply that in this profession, do everything well. Seek first professionally. Seek first. Do it right. Put all your life in it. I'm telling you, money will come. Fame will come. Everything will come. Follow. You see, all these years, I was making big moves. I wasn't shooting for all day. I was looking for, because the industry, that time, Living in Bondage came, it was all about rituals and all that. So all the other movies that came after it,
We started
tried to
following that
imitate
trend.
that. So the media were now very critical of that. So one day I said, no, what's going on? Why are media condemning everything? Let me change. That was how I moved into action movie. And I changed the narrative completely. And though even as I was doing the action, others didn't join me. They continued in what they were doing. But I was able to provide a variety. I gave people a
something
choice.
different. Yeah,
Something different.
don't eat rice every day of your
God
life.
bless you. So, but funny enough, some people were skeptical and scared. This field, this area I'm going to, are you sure people will follow? Since they have what everybody was following. But to their shock, the action movies that I did came and almost drove the other ones into extinction. It gained massive followership. People, it was like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, a breath of fresh air, something different.
It was different. People were so happy. And right now in the industry, I can see the varieties now.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's an assortment.
Exactly. So that is how it should be. People should be given the choice. All of us should not just in that bandwagon and get into just one area. No, it's very bad. That was what I tried to do then. So I wasn't looking at winning an award. It was like a risk. If I want to just do what others are doing and make money, I will join others.
It's simple.
But I decided to move into a different terrain. It's worked like magic. People loved it. Like even when I stopped for some time making it, people are complaining.
Yeah, what was going on?
So I see the comments, but the promise I'm giving them is I'm coming back again.
Yes, well, that was what I was going to ask just now. Like, okay, so what next for Teco Benson? What should we expect?
Yes, in my channel, Teco Benson TV, I have some of my old movies there, but I'm working on releasing new movies in line with what I'm known for. All right, so because I've already tapped the niche.
Yes, you have that badge already, that badge of honor.
Absolutely. So I'm coming with sequence and series of movies that will be coming from time to time and completely change the narrative again.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
That's why we're coming.
All right, okay. So I'd like to say a very big thank you for your time. I don't know how else to appreciate you because they say time is the most valuable asset to have, and I really do appreciate you giving me this time for this. Thank you so much,
Obviously.
and I hope one or two people are able to gain something insightful from this episode. And I'm hoping that one day when the podcast is bigger, I can have you back. We can discuss more serious issues and get to it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. All right, thank you very much, my brothers. It's been a very fun and exciting one. I'm happy to share this episode with you, and I hope you found something useful, at least one thing useful from today's episode. And if you did, please do share it. Let somebody out there know that there's more to life than just honing down on that thing that you keep chasing, and you can easily just live your life and be happy, and make sure that your mental health is your priority in everything. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to leave a comment. And as usual, forever till the day I do my last. My name is Onola Patoba. I am my brother's keeper until the day I die. And remember, you're not alone in everything that is going on in your life. No matter what you're going through, no matter the situation, you are not alone. And don't forget, peace, prosperity, and progress. Thank you. I'll see you on the next.